Hello everybody, and just here, and welcome back to Yuuki Yuuna is a Yuusha episode 10. And I can't believe we're already this close to finishing the first season. How many seasons there are, actually? I know that there's like 3 of them at least, but actually, let me check out right quick. Oh no, there's more than 3. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe. The 7th could be a movie, and some minis chibi show as well. Actually, 2 chibi shows? Maybe just 1. I don't know. I'm not sure. There's a lot, and probably at least like 2 or 3 movies, or however many. But yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot more to come. And I heard that the novels and the manga and all that stuff is also very worth reading. We'll see what I'm gonna do with that. I don't know, I've only so far read like a single novel on the channel. The Witch from Mercury prequel novel. I don't know. We'll see. In any case, episode 10, it's a little bit late on Patreon. If you didn't know, I mean, if you were waiting on it on Patreon, then you probably know why. I was a little bit under the weather, so this episode is a little bit late because the early episodes of Yuuki Yuuna, I would not feel uncomfortable with myself watching them while not at my 100%, you know? I sometimes even watch them a little bit tired, a little bit sleepy, maybe even a little bit, I don't know, of a sore throat or whatever, right? I did, because they weren't that, I don't know, that big, I guess, that important. They were for the setup, but you know what I mean, right? They were mostly slice of lifey, didn't really require that much, I don't know, effort watching them. But now, yeah, I would not feel good watching the new episodes of Yuuki Yuuna at anything less than my, maybe not 100%, I'm rarely at my 100%, but at least like at 80, 90, right? So hence the delay. But yeah, we're here, we're back, and if you're watching it on YouTube, nothing changes. You get this episode on schedule. Right, previous episode. Previous episode was big, and it even sparked a little bit of discussion in the comments, which I'm very glad. I really liked reading all the comments, provided they don't contain any spoilers, and from what I could see, none of them did. The previous episode's biggest thing was, of course, Fuu breaking, right? She saw how Itsuki wanted to be an idol, she wanted to start singing, she already got through the audition, right? All that jazz, and all of that just destroyed by her being a hero. So she broke. She went on a rampage with the goal of destroying the Taisha. And I said that I understand, and that I'm with her, and that I'm very much disappointed in Yuuna trying to stop her from doing that, because Fuu was doing the right thing. I might have been directed a little bit more by emotion than by logic by then, but I guess it's just a testament to how emotional and powerful scene that was, where it just kind of disabled my thinking, and I was fully, you know, embedded in Fuu's emotions, in Fuu's actions. But you made a good point in the comments that Taisha is actually what allows the heroes to, like, work, exist, right? Karin has no parents, Fuu and Itsuki have no parents, they're all alone, and I assume that Taisha provides them maybe some stipend so that they're able to live and work, right? Maybe, you know, they provide them basic care at a hospital. They gave them the apps that the, you know, enemy radar and stuff. All sorts of useful things were provided to them by Taisha. So, of course, with Taisha being destroyed, it would be a little bit harder fighting the Vertexes. And I agree. All of that is very true. All of that makes perfect sense, that destroying Taisha might not be the best thing to do in, like, you know, the heat of a moment. But I still do believe that it's something that has to be considered, right? I still fully believe that the girls should not just lay down and take it, right? That they should have some sort of a recourse, that they should at least meet up with Taisha and say, hey, yo, we know what the fuck you're doing and we don't like it. You could have told us. You should have told us. What are you gonna do now, right? Itsuki had a dream. What are you gonna do about that? Are you going to, I don't know, do anything about that? Or are you just absolved of sins because you're doing it for the greater good without telling us? Right? Something should be done, and I hope something is done. I hope the lesson of the previous episode isn't what I believe Yuuna's actions were a lesson in, and that lesson being, oh well, nothing can be done about that. I'm just gonna put out my other cheek and I'm gonna lay down and take it because, oh well, it happened. Can't do anything about it. Just gonna do whatever, right? I really hope that's another lesson here. I really, really, truly do. They shouldn't be acting on emotion immediately with the thought of sowing destruction, like Fuu, but they also should not just lay down and take it. They absolutely should not. Because shit like that should not pass. Taisha should not be hiding the truth from people. They absolutely should not. Arguably, I mean, I don't know how does the, like, hero distribution system works, but arguably, Taisha should not allow their heroes to fight past certain point, right? There should be maybe a limit of, like, you bloom 3 times, or until you're very much affected by your, blooming, then you just get to retire with still plenty of your bodily functionality intact. And then they grab another bunch of heroes. That would be more morally correct than getting everybody to the state that Sonoko is in. And Taisha claims themselves to be, they don't claim themselves to be anything, but they are very much portrayed as the heroes. Not the heroes, but like the good force, right? The force of good, the contact with God, with the holy tree, yada yada. So they should be behaving in a morally correct way. They should not be, destroying the lives of innocent people in exchange for prolonging the existence of humanity for maybe 1 more year, maybe 2 more years, right? It really it reminds me a lot of whatchamacallit. Reminds me a lot of that like devout Christian Catholic thinking of and many other religions, by the way, of the worse I have it on earth, the better I'll have it up in heaven, right? If I'm poor, if I'm sick, if I'm, beaten every day, then they're gonna make it up to me after I die. I call bullshit. I really call bullshit on that, and I'm really not a huge fan of, I might have lost my eyes and my ears and my taste and my hearing and both my legs and both of my arms and my kidneys barely work, but at least they worship me. Yeah, that's not the best future, I say. That's really not the best future. So I really hope the lesson of this show, or at least one of the like bigger morals here, I guess, I really hope it's not martyrdom. I'm really not a fan of martyrdom. So I hope something is done. I hope maybe they even regain what they've lost. Maybe, I don't know. That was a long rant. That was a long rant. But I say it needed to be said, because while I understand now, after thinking that yes, Taisha is necessary, and destroying the Taisha immediately without any thinking, it would be bad for everybody involved, I also believe that something has to be done, and the lesson cannot be to just lay down and take it. Like, it would be very much of a Japanese lesson, right? Your boss abuses you, but you gave the company a lot of profit, so you did good, right? You deserve the praise because you gave your health and your life and your everything to the company, and that deserves praise, right? Your health is completely destroyed, you get heart attack at 40, you have no family, no nothing, you spend 14 hours a day working at the company and you sleep in your cubicle, but the company earned 1% more profit this quarter, so yeah, hooray you. No, I'm not about that. Regardless, what else happened in the previous episode? Well, the big reveal, of course, that they cannot die, and not cannot die in like a positive way where, oh, they're being protected from death so they can go and fight to their heart's content because nothing's gonna happen to them. No, they cannot die as in they're not allowed. They can try to find freedom, they can try to find solace in death, but they cannot. They are not allowed. Even after they bloom 28 times and lose all of their senses and the functionality of all of their organs and are only kept alive by a steady stream of oxygen supplied directly into their bloodstream, they're not allowed to die. They become the fucking emperor on a golden throne. They're not allowed to die. Yeah. That's not much of a reward for their service. It's really not. It's really not. But it's something, and it's something that also tells me that, yeah, the Divine Tree might not be necessarily entirely all that, good either. Because if the Divine Tree was good, however we define goodness, then its defensive system that includes human heroes would maybe, stop them from being heroes after one blooming and then bring a new batch. Right? Maybe that. Maybe it would, not prevent them from dying if they desire so. Right? Maybe it would do all sorts of other things. It really could make the system so much better than it is. But it didn't. Which really makes me wonder if it's maybe a situation of just everybody sucks here. The Vertexes suck because they want to destroy humanity. The Divine Tree sucks because it sacrifices innocent people for its own continued survival. It's only the innocent girls who are, not at fault anywhere here. Right? Maybe that's the theme here. I don't know, man. I don't know, and I'm stalling. I'm stalling watching this episode because I'm afraid where it's gonna go, honestly. After the reveals of the previous episode, after learning what the Taisha and the Divine Tree and all of that are... Yeah, great. It just broke. I'm gonna have to get a new one. Much better. What was I? Shit, I forgot. I was talking about... yeah, about me stalling and being afraid of what's gonna be shown in this episode, because if they're already showing things like, they're not allowed to die, and they're gonna keep losing their bodily functions all the time, and they get no choice in the matter, they've been selected, hooray, aren't you happy to be the fucking chosen ones? Yeah, anything can happen now. Anything can happen now. Anybody besides maybe Yuuna is at risk of, you know, doing the biggest good thing, the best thing they can do with their lives and fucking sacrificing themselves. Everybody is at risk now. Because now I know that, yeah, actually everybody is perfectly fine with sacrificing themselves for the greater cause. So it wouldn't surprise me if Karin, Mimori, Fuu, or Itsuki just threw themselves in front of a vertex beam because, yay, sacrifice! Wouldn't surprise me. And I would very much hate it, because I fucking hate pointless sacrifice. So I'm afraid. But, yeah, the shows I get to watch. Next seasonal poll, I'm including only motherfucking comedies and slice of life. I swear. I swear. Okay. Yeah. I've already been ranting for 15 minutes. Let's rip the fucking band-aid off and start watching, right? Shall we? To do that, you will need your subs to follow along with me. I'm gonna need my sound to hear what's going on in the show. And I'm gonna have to ask you for support. Support the channel if you want monetarily on Patreon, YouTube down below, or not. Share my content, spread the word, costs you nothing, helps a lot. And with that, we can start watching episode 10 of Yuuki Yuuna in 3, 2, 1, go. What the fuck's going on with my camera? Let me toggle it right quick. Vertex alert, vertex alert, vertex alert, vertex alert. Huh? What? What the fuck? She was standing on top of the weird wall. What? Have I just talked about pointless sacrifice and she's pointlessly sacrificing herself? Is that what's going on? What's she doing behind the wall? Get across the wall, what the weights and what we can bring down, or however it went. Opening to Princess Principal is great. One of my favorite openings of all time, really. Go and give a watch, give a listen to Princess Principal opening. I have to catch up with the movies, by the way. Bonds of Love. Well, that doesn't bode well. Because it really tells me, oh, I love you so much, I'm going to sacrifice myself for you. Okay, so I guess she used to be a hero? Or did she just work for Taisha, like, work for Taisha? Oh, great. I mean, I don't know if her mother knew the truth. But if she did, then yeah, amazing mother wanting martyrdom for her daughter. Good. You sacrificed yourself for the divine tree, daughter. Great job. I never wanted anything else for you than sacrifice. Right? And that's where she met Yuuna. Now I guess it's Taisha's way to make up for you a little bit of fortune. That's gonna make up for you never being able to walk. Could have at least given you a fucking motorized wheelchair. Does Togo mean anything in particular? Probably does. What's that? Oh, something Mimori made. Oh, it's the mochi with Atsuki on the outside, right? That she already made once. Oh, that's basically a marriage proposal. Fancy some sacrifice? Yeah, that's a very good not testament. Uh, fuck. Doesn't matter. Sentiment, yeah. So I guess Itsuki hasn't joined yet? Yep. Okay, so she was the creator of the fifth uh, precept. Oh, I guess it's her first year at school. Hmm. That's not really fortune telling, but that's a cool trick. I'm gonna be honest with you though, I'm not in a particular mood for slice of lifey bit right about now, especially after that beginning sequence with Mimori saying that, oh, that's how I can save them all. Yeah, let's put that on the sidelines and let's do this. How about that? Totally not a tonal whiplash. So I'm gonna be honest, I'm finding it kind of hard to enjoy this sequence right now. I guess it's supposed to establish Togo as this sort of, important part of their club, a little bit of an older sister who helps everybody, always has a good read on the situation, is close with Yuuna, all those stuff. Probably. Okay, we back to not yet. And apparently there's more than 12. So, yeah. Good going there, Taisha, counting. Oh, I thought she maybe figured that it's her forgotten friend. Whole entire seppuku ceremony. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Can't allow you to die. Her, meaning Sonoko? Oh, is that where she's headed? Or... No, I somehow thought that Sonoko might be somewhere beyond the wall, but no. First of all, yeah, why do you call me Washi? Okay. Adopted. Yeah, I'm liking Taisha more and more, my dude. I'm lacking this religious aspect. Ooh, boy. Okay, at least she was able to piece together the truth. Hmm. Because Yuuna showed high aptitude? Yep. Oh. Yeah, so exactly that. They're giving them more money the more crippled they become. Yeah, that's also, you know, a thing here. It's not like, oh, we feel guilty, so we can at least recompense you with food, with money. It's, oh, we worship your sacrifice. That's a very good question, actually. Not allowed to talk of something? Okay, I'm listening. I'm all ears. Of course. Of course, we're not gonna hear it. All of humanity is dead. There is nothing beyond the wall except endless sea of vertexes. Is that the truth of the world? Probably. I mean, you can't really do much, so it's not like your support matters all that much. That's a lot. But she can still order her fairies around, I assume. Even her room is like a shrine. Yeah, that's just a shrine. It's not even a hospital room anymore. Maybe in one of your abscissions you lost the ability to suffer. Wouldn't surprise me if that was a thing. So what is beyond the wall? Also, what even is this wall in the first place? Yeah, that's a lot more than 12 vertexes. Someone was big liar, liar, pants on fire. Welcome to the Matrix, motherfucker. It was the Vertexes. Oh, so like Reapers from Mass Effect, or... Yeah? It is hell. What is that thing, though? Oh, yeah. I mean, of course. So, no, your work doesn't end at 12 of them. Yes. Forever and ever. Yes. Yes. And after you can no longer move, others will come. Like an emperor on the golden throne. Quite literally. Also, question, does nobody question the wall? I guess not anymore. Yeah, and you're not even allowed to die. Is there anything? Meaning? Destroy the divine tree so that the world ends, and with the world, the struggle? I mean, that is an out. If the choice is between the destruction of the remainder of humanity and endless suffering, right? There's many more. There's many more of them, Karin. Like a lot. And Togo is probably drawing them in. Yep, she blew a hole open in the wall. Yeah, exactly. If this is the only way that you can, die and stop suffering, then exactly. If that's the only way, that's the only way. I mean, right? New ending. Same opening, but different instrumental. I think. Hmm. Next episode. Passion. Okay. Alright. Let's watch it again, shall we? Shall we? Yeah. I said on Patreon when I said that this episode is gonna be late that I might watch 2 of them, as you know, to make up for my being late. But I don't think I will. I think episode 11 and 12 are better watched together. I think. Maybe. I'm not sure. I'll see. After I go through this episode again, I'll go for a walk and then make a decision. But yeah, right now let's watch this one, of course. Yeah, sudden emergency alert and the wall, and Mimori is on the wall. We get the backstory that we already kind of sort of got already. Now, saying I was taken to various historical sites and gained an interest in our nation and its history. No, you did not gain an interest in it. You were explicitly, directed to gain interest in it. I would dare say that very little of your life is actually yours, and most of it has been in bigger or smaller part directed by the Taisha. Again, they not only take away their choice as to whether or not to become a hero, they take away all of their choices. Essentially, they steer them in the exact direction that they needed to be steered. The beginning of the Hero Club, yeah, they were not singled out for no reason either. Fuu probably got a direct order to recruit them, to get all the heroes in one place. Yeah, having fun, helping, being with friends, establishing that Mimori is an important figure in their friend group, establishing her bond with Yuuna. And then we go back to how she discovered that they're not allowed to die. Yeah, a bunch of flashbacks. The entire first half of the episode, I mean, it's kind of important from like a, I don't know, for the purpose of re-establishing those things about Mimori. I don't think they needed to be re-established, right? Like, I don't think we needed a reminder that Mimori and Yuuna are close. I don't think we needed a reminder that she's the dependable older sister of the friend group, right? I don't think we needed a reminder for that. But we did get it. And we did get some, information about her family, how she kept moving around, and now we get an answer to some of the questions that didn't need to be asked in like this way. I don't know. I'm just not a huge fan of the first half of the episode, to be perfectly honest with you. Yeah. I mean, I guess it kind of served the purpose of establishing that, her family was moving around a lot and there was something weird about her childhood. It almost seems like she was purpose-bred, yada, yada, yada. And this part confirming that, yes, she was purpose-bred. I was deemed to be fit a hero in the aptitude test. I was adopted into the Washio family. Yeah, she figured it all out. And we were friends, or at least compatriots. They searched the nation for others to be heroes. Lied about memory loss. Yep, she had higher aptitude. Our parents have known the truth, and they still remained silent about it because of the all-encompassing worship for the Divine Tree and worship for the Taisha. It's like basically the highest honor to any family in this world is to have their child sacrificed. It's really going into like the whatchamacallit, a lot of the like Latin American countries early on, like I don't know, Aztecs, Mayas, I think Mesopotamia as well, and those like early civilizations in general, they had a big worship of sacrifices, of people who sacrifice themselves, right? A young girl, for example, or a young boy, or whatever, usually a girl, was selected to be the sacrifice. Well, that was the biggest honor to the family, right? Thank you for selecting our daughter to be the one who dies. She was always dressed the best. She was given the best clothes, the best food, the best everything until the time of sacrifice when she was killed as a sacrifice to the gods. And this is very much reminiscent of that. The sacrifices are getting to be nice and plump and well fed so that the god has something to feast upon. Right? Very much reminiscent of any sort of sacrifice culture, any sort of sacrifice religion out there. It is on our side, but it's also a god. Sure. But this is something that I don't get fully and entirely about the divine tree. How like there are two things about it that I find highly illogical and highly pointless and useless, and I know that what I say right now, all of my issues that I'm gonna have, can just be hand waved by, oh, it's a god, you know, the ways of gods are different and fickle is their nature, yada yada yada, let's just hand wave it because it's a god. And fair, absolutely fair, right? The concept of, I know, a Christian god sacrificing himself to clear humanity of a sin that he himself gave them, it's also kind of bullshit. Right? And it also kind of makes no sense, but it gets to be hand-waved as, oh, you know, God. So the same here. First of all, is there any point to the divine tree driving the heroes this far? Right? Couldn't the divine tree limit their blooming to just one, for example, and then get a fresh batch of heroes? Is it possible? It probably would be. It probably would be. If the divine tree is an amalgamation of multiple gods, it could probably influence how high aptitude the people have. There could be a system like, if you're born in a temple, you get high aptitude or whatever, right? The system could have been designed better, is what I'm trying to say, without as much suffering. The second thing is, the god demands sacrifice from its own protectors. And that just doesn't make sense to me. Right? I'm a deity. I'm an all-powerful being. But I need to be protected. So whatever power I have, I give to the people so they protect me. And I want nothing in return. What they give me in return is protection. That makes sense. It doesn't make sense to be like, oh yeah, I want you to protect me, and if you want to protect me, you have to cut off your left arm. That's when I'm gonna allow you to protect me. It makes no sense from like a, survival standpoint of the deity. It should do anything to ensure its survival, and requiring sacrifice does not help it whatsoever. Unless it doesn't have infinite power and prayer isn't enough, and it actually does require physical, proper sacrifices. But if so, then it kind of raises the issue of sacrificing little pieces of 5 people versus maybe sacrificing one person wholly. Like just putting that person on an altar, stabbing her in the heart, ripping it out, and, giving it to the divine tree in exchange for making the 5 people standing up front gain the power of, like, 3 bloomings each, or whatever, right? That would be, in my opinion, somewhat more moral. You limit suffering as much as possible. If someone has to be sacrificed, it's better to maybe, have that sacrificial person be raised from the very get-go, from the very beginning, like in fucking Aztec cultures, to be a sacrifice, so that they're perfectly fine with it, in exchange for, giving that power to multiple other people. For a benevolent deity that the divine tree apparently supposedly is, it's not very benevolent. I would even say it's very selfish, right? I'm going to hire you as a bodyguard, but it's you who has to pay me to guard me. What? That doesn't sound like a fair deal. It really doesn't. The secret of the world outside the wall. Yeah. You should see it for yourself. Stop us. She has 21 fairies. Yep. This is a very cool reveal. That it's not a hospital room. I may be closer to the divine tree now. Yeah, it's a shrine. Yeah, even with all this worship, like, what is it really doing to me? Nothing. It's not like she's actually a deity who would gain power or strength or sustenance from people's prayers. All those paper things and all those wooden forks and this gate and all of that, it doesn't really do anything for her, does it? It's pointless, it's senseless. It's just there to make the Taisha feel better about themselves. Right? Oh yeah, we might have brought this girl to the state of being a fucking vegetable, but look how we worship her. Right? We're the good guys, we worship her as a god. It's fair, right? It's fair treatment, isn't it? That's the vibe I'm getting here. I don't feel suffering anymore, strangely enough. I mean, what choice do you have? Humans are infinitely adaptable. If they're suffering too much, they get desensitized to their own suffering. That's just how it works. She doesn't suffer because she cannot suffer. She's unable of suffering. And of course it's an illusion. I thought that maybe, yeah, the world is a wasteland, right? There are some vertexes walking around. I thought that this is like, this is already a hellscape to me, right? Completely barren landscape. And then we see some, vertexes walking around like fucking giraffes or something. But no, the truth is so much worse. She goes through the barrier. And it's hell. It's tiny little vertexes, like singular cells floating around. The truth. Their world is inside of the divine tree, and the real world looks like the surface of the sun. Essentially. The world is inside one giant barrier. I expected something of the sort to be the case, but I more expected, like, Japan to be encased in a barrier and the rest of the world being a wasteland, rather than Japan is a floating piece of space-time floating in the hell dimension. I did not expect this. I expected something like this, but not this. The vertexes, the highest of organisms, were sent by the gods of heaven, tasked with purification. I wonder what's the deal with this. I wonder what's the actual legit proper reason. Because I don't think the explanation is, oh, well, gods are fickle. They decided humanity dies, so they sent, you know, vertexes to destroy humanity. I don't think it's quite as simple. I really don't. The world suddenly came under their attack. There has to have been a reason. The other gods sided with humanity. Yeah, why the schism among the gods? Why do some of the gods want humanity gone and some of them want to help and save humanity? And why are the gods who want humanity gone seemingly more powerful? That's also a very good question. The current Taisha heard the voice of those gods, yeah, and they became their envoys, essentially. They're being reborn, yeah. I mean, that was predictable. The moment they defeated 12 vertexes and more appeared, it was entirely and perfectly predictable that, no, there isn't 12. There's probably a limitless amount. They're going to attack us one after another, yes. And you will have to fight them and you will bloom. And you will fight them and you will bloom. And you will fight them and you will bloom. And you will fight them and you will bloom. And then you will end up like Sonoko. That's how it goes. Your body becomes like a log, unable to function. See, this is another illogical piece in the whole hero system. Blooming, in the first place. Do they even need to bloom? It's not like the vertexes are rebuilt stronger, I don't think. They're just rebuilt as they are. Couldn't the heroes just not bloom, but in exchange make more than 5 of them? Create like 10 of them. And don't have them bloom. Give them each one fairy and they can fight. Maybe, right? It could also work. Probably. But no. The divine tree demands sacrifice. Not just any sacrifice. It demands your entirety. Yeah, there's only one way to end this suffering. Only one single way. Just end the world. It really makes sense. If the choice is between endless suffering of them, of whoever comes after them, of whoever comes after them, and after and after and after and after and after, hoping that the vertexes won't eventually sneak through, versus accelerating the death of the world, maybe the world should die. If it only breeds suffering, if it can never get better, if there's no hope for ever defeating the vertexes, let's just succumb. Let's end the suffering. Mine and others. Right? And see... Yeah, just wait, Yuuna-chan, everyone. All we have to do is destroy the divine tree and we'll be freed from all suffering. Yep, exactly. I'll end this wretched world. See? This is what you get for not telling them the truth. Right? It's the world, Taisha, and by extension the world, getting their comeuppance. I really can't look at it any other way. If they knew what they're dealing with, they would have time to process. In a controlled manner. In a controlled way. Even better if they were allowed to say no. Right? They would have time to get accustomed with the truth. But because they didn't, because they had to learn it all on their own, outside of a controlled environment, without anybody, you know, slowly giving them bits and pieces of the knowledge or anything of the sort, they learn the truth and they break. Fuu learned the truth and she broke. Mimori learned the truth and she broke. It's on Taisha. It really is on Taisha. And I'm with Mimori here. Honestly. It would be different if there was a way, like ultimately, there is a plan, right? Taisha has a plan. There is the, there's the Vertex mother. And we need to stop we need to prevent humanity from dying for a couple more years. We're doing a ritual summoning the biggest hero of them all, summoning fucking Gilgamesh from beyond the grave, and he will go there and defeat the Vertex mother, and then everything goes good. But you just hold on. Then there's hope. There's hope that I will sacrifice myself, yes, but I'm going to buy time for humanity, and humanity will eventually come back. They will eventually fight back, they will eventually win. My generation of heroes might not achieve that. Next generation of heroes might not achieve that. But 10 generations of heroes from now, the heroes will be strong enough to defeat the Vertexes. And I want to have that future be a thing. I want to see that future. So I'm going to do everything I can for that. If there's hope, there's will to fight. If there's no hope, why fight? Why struggle? If you can just give in, if you can just give up. There's no point. If there's no point to your fighting, if you're ultimately not going to make a difference, let's destroy the world. Right? Why don't we? What's the point? I can see that. I can fully and entirely see Mimori's thinking here. And I'm with her, honestly. I'm with her. If the world just breeds suffering, let's end the world. This is the true state of the world. Now you're standing in front of me. I'm a failure of a friend. Hero Club 5 tenets, number 1. Can't remember what it is. Whatever, it doesn't matter. I mean, it probably does, but... Oh boy. Passion. Someone's honking their alarm, their, like, signal on their car, like, holding it fucking in. Okay, regardless. Oh, that was an episode. That was an episode. An episode that... How do I even say it? How do I even verbalize what I'm thinking right now? I'm hoping that the message of this show and its direction will eventually turn out more positive. Right? Because right now, everything seems just bleak. It seems just bleak, and nobody except Mimori, seemingly, wants to learn the truth, let alone do something about it. Right? Yuuna would just take it lying down. Oh, there's more vertexes. Oh, well, I guess we're the heroes. I guess we gotta do that. No, Mimori-san, don't do it. No, stop. We're the heroes. Right? I can see her saying that. Yeah, everything just seems so bleak. There doesn't seem to be hope. There doesn't seem to be a plan. the Taisha is a bunch of assholes. The girls are going to endlessly suffer at no fault of their own. And even after they have suffered enough, they will continue to suffer. And a new bunch of new girls is going to start suffering as well. And it's just going to be an endless cycle. Without hope, without escape, without even being allowed to die. And with everybody, except Mimori, again, and except Fuu, at least so far, being seemingly just fine with it. Being just perfectly fine with it. If, even after everybody learns what the truth is, that there is an endless stream of vertexes, that the world is just suffering, how much Taisha has been hiding from them, everybody's just going to be fine with it. Even Fuu. I fully believe that after the last episode, Fuu is going to be, no, Mimori-san, I also thought that way, but I learned it's the bad way to think. The good way to think is to sacrifice our bodies to God. I can see that. And I'm not a fan. So I hope it turns around. Maybe not in this season. Maybe in future seasons. Some glimmer of hope arrives. You know? Some glimmer like, oh, we actually found out the epicenter of the vertexes. We know where to strike. Right? We just need to get a little bit stronger. And then we can strike and we can end suffering of humanity. We can save humanity. Maybe we're gonna have to sacrifice 15 more bloomings, but we at least have hope for it to end. And we will end it. Right? Maybe something like that. Maybe some other way is found. Maybe the vertexes want to... Maybe the vertexes are not destroying this world, but rather moving it to a safer location. I don't know. And the rest of humanity is living on Earth 2.0, somewhere in fucking Andromeda Galaxy, and there's a weird, like, Japan-shaped hole in Earth, because Japan is still fighting the transition, or whatever. Something, you know, some bit shred of hope is what I'm waiting for. I found that I have low tolerance for misery fatigue. Mostly after playing Arknights a lot. But also after watching some, you know, Madoka Magica and other similar shows. What misery fatigue is that after there's a lot of misery happening and there's not a shred of hope, I just find myself stop caring. You know? Because if there is no hope, if nothing can get better, if there's only misery, if anything good that happens will eventually end up bad, if every new character that appears I know will eventually die, if I know that the entire cast is destined to die, then I stop caring. If I know that the struggle is pointless, I don't care about the struggle. And I hope it doesn't get to that point. The early episodes, the first half of this season, had a nice mixture. That was something that I praised this show. What the fuck is going on outside? Some construction equipment or something. That's the thing I praised this show a lot early on, how it marries the fighting and the supernatural and all that stuff with the daily lives, right? With the slice of lifey bits. Because it gives the important stuff all the more importance. Because we know what they're fighting for. We know that there is something to fight for. We know that they're still capable of having fun, that there's still good in the world. If you remove that factor, and it's just misery and suffering, then I just stop caring. So I hope it doesn't get to that point. I hope that the next episode, being titled Passion, will, I don't know, give our characters some passion to fight. But if the passion they're given stems from, we have to sacrifice ourselves, Mimori-chan, that's what the divine tree wants, and we're the heroes, aren't we? Yes, we are, Yuuna-chan, we're the heroes. I'm not gonna like it. I'm gonna be honest, ahead of time. If the positive side of it is that, yay, sacrifice, that's not a positive at all in my eyes. It's just going to feel weird to me. But I'm getting ahead of myself. We have not gotten there, so there's little point speculating about what's gonna happen or about what I'm going to feel if a given thing happens, if we don't know if it's gonna happen. But I have a sneaking suspicion, with how clear the message of the previous episode was, that sacrifice good, let's lie down and take it. I don't have... And especially that coming from the main character. There's that thing in Japanese media I noticed where the main character is pretty much always kind of a compass of the show, pointing north. And the main character is often not infallible, that would be wrong to say it, but main character cannot be bad, if you know what I mean. For example, one of the biggest changes in the adaptation of Shield Hero was that in the manga and in the light novel, Raftalia got to actually kill her captor, right? The dude who had her as a slave. She met up with him. She actually stabbed him with her sword or slashed him or whatever and kicked him out of the window. That was in the original. But in the anime, the dude just kind of stumbled backwards and fell out of the window, right? The end is kind of the same, but the messaging is different. In the manga, in the anime, Raftalia was allowed to kill. In the anime, she wasn't, because she's one of the main characters, and main characters are not supposed to be evil, and killing is evil. So we can't have her kill people. We can have her kill monsters, but not people. That would be evil. That would be bad. And that seems to be very pervasive in Japanese media, I noticed. The syndrome of, if you kill him, you will be just like him, right? Or, no, I'm going to spare your life. I don't want to be like you, right? This sort of bullshit. And that tells me that Yuuna's belief that we should just take it lying down and sacrifice is good is the actual moral message of this show. We can't have her make bad choices, or we can have her make bad choices, but we can't have her hold bad beliefs, right? Because she's the main character. She's not allowed to be like the bad guys. She's not allowed to want people to die or to suffer or stuff like that. She's not allowed to hold bad beliefs. So if she doesn't hold the belief that something should be done, then the belief of something should be done is bad. That's, my interpretation so far. That the direction of Yuuna's thinking is the direction of the show. I hope I'm wrong. I hope it's actually supposed to be either a lesson to Yuuna, that, oh yeah, you want us all to, sacrifice ourselves and, sacrifice good and all that. Well, look at this. Is there a point to our sacrifice? And Yuuna actually changing her mind. maybe not entirely, maybe not straight into let's destroy the world with Mimori, but into, you know, what can we do to actually stop it? Instead of keeping the status quo, what can we do to change things? Instead of just lying down and taking it, let's at least make our suffering, make our sacrifice matter. Let's use our blooming, let's use our power and go out there, go beyond the wall, destroy the source maybe, or go there and destroy the vertexes that are being rebuilt so that they're never rebuilt, right? Stuff like that. It could be that, or it could be some sort of a reframing of sacrifice good, which could be good, could be bad, depending on how it's done. Yeah, I don't think I have it in me to watch another episode today. I'm sorry. I know I promised, but maybe tomorrow I'm gonna watch the last two. That's how we're gonna do it. I don't know. Yeah, this episode was very ranty on my part. I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry for that, but this is just, you know, this is just how I feel. I'm really not a fan of the sacrifice is good messaging. I have hope that it's not actually, you know, the message they're trying to say here in the show as a whole, because we also have the bit that gives me hope is that Sonoko said that, yeah, they're worshipping me, but, you know, I can't do anything. I'm laying here like a log. They're worshipping me, and, you know, sacrifice is noble and all, but, you know, I'd like to hug my friends again. I'd like to walk. I'd like to maybe, you know, read a book or something, but I can't. So, you know, it's fine that they worship me, but it's not fine. This and Mimori's behavior and Fuu's behavior tells me that maybe there is a chance that Yuuna is going to reevaluate her beliefs, that we're going to shift a little bit away from noble sacrifice into sacrifice is noble, but only when it matters direction. Because right now their sacrifice is kind of pointless. Because no matter what they do, things are not gonna change. They're just prolonging the suffering of humanity. It's time to pull the plug. If you can't heal the sickness, maybe it's just better to pull the plug. And neither the heroes nor the Taisha are doing either, right? They're just keeping the brain-dead patient hooked up to machinery, just existing. I don't know. It just kind of clashes with my sense of morality a little bit. We'll see where it goes. We'll see where it goes. Man, this closing thought section is gonna be longer than the discussion segment, I swear. But yeah, I think that's gonna be it from me for today. I'm going to go for a walk right now, I think. But yeah, right now that's gonna be it from me for today. But maybe you guys have something more to add on the topic, and if so, say so in the comments down below. What did you think of this episode? My reaction, my theories, stuff like that. Like this video if you liked it. Subscribe to be notified of future videos, not only Yuuki Yuuna, but also Kaito Otome, Kaiju number 8, Mysterious Disappearances, that's Kaito Otome, Sentai Daishikaku, Unnamed Memory, Spice and Wolf, plenty others coming in the future. Click the bell to be notified when I go live, because I do go live sometimes. Support the channel if you want monetarily on Patreon down below, where for $10 a month you get early access to Yuuki Yuuna, and for just $1 you get a role on the Discord and a place in the credits. You can also support me directly on YouTube through memberships, super thanks, super chats, stuff like that. And if you don't want to spend any money whatsoever, you don't have to. Share my content, spread the word. It costs you absolutely nothing and helps the channel a lot. And now, with all of that out of the way, that's gonna be it from me for today. So as always, you guys do all the good stuff, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Cheers! And here's the list of my wonderful Patreons. QB, Without a Net, Zerene, Yukiala, Ishtamu, Dr. Wotaka, Maser, Marsh, Fassel, and Hans Peter. And you can join them if you want without having to be a sacrifice.